Welcome to Art Toronto. My name is Mia Nielsen. I'm the director of the fair. And over the last few months, we've heard a lot from collectors about what they were looking at during the pandemic, what works they were drawn to. So today we're going to hear from two Toronto collectors, Anjli Patel and Parambir Keila, about a unique piece that they acquired by Shaan Syed. Enjoy.
The work in question is the double minaret by Shaan Syed. It's from 2017, and Anjali's going to walk through how we came across the work and ultimately acquired it.
So back in June 2020, I recall Art Toronto sending an email spotlighting Canadian artists, and there was a selection of work that was available on Artsy. And that's actually how I discovered Shaan Syed and his work. And I think my initial impression was, wow, I haven't seen any diaspora artists creating work like this, very abstracted and very minimal, and something that I've always found very pleasing. I think in all mediums, whether it's fashion or interior design or art, I do really like minimalism, although not everything in our collection represents that. So I think my initial reaction was that I was really surprised and intrigued and wanting to learn more about the artist and this particular series, which is called Double Minaret. What drew me to this work was the palette and the composition, which I absolutely love. And in general, I would say both of us love Islamic architecture. But beyond the surface, I love that Shaan's process instills meaning in the work. And really, there's nobody who can better and more brilliantly describe this work in this particular series than him. Speak a little bit more about the process, some of which I found out directly from Shaan. He poured linseed oil, that's another word for flaxseed oil, on raw canvas. And the raw canvas allows for the oil to penetrate the surface. And so Shaan told me that the oil spill, that's sort of the yellow portion of the work, dates to 2011. Then he left the canvas rolled up for several years, and he revisited it to paint the step motif on top, which is representing a flattened minaret. And so the flattened minaret actually originates from a photo of the Great Mosque of Samarra in Iraq, which Shaan hasn't visited and which we haven't visited either, but was clearly very striking to him and inspired a series of works.
So it was kind of interesting to us. Shaan is from Toronto, but we had never, unfortunately, come across his work before.
Yeah.
And so the email really sort of triggered this chain reaction where we started to say, oh, hold on, who is he? What does he do? Let's learn more about him, his work, and
yeah. I think our next step was that we contacted the gallery that last exhibited his work in Montreal, and that was in July. And that began, I want to say, almost a 2-month correspondence with the gallery about this particular work, the previous exhibition of work that they had exhibited by him, which then led to a number of things. We Zoomed with the gallery to see the work hung in their space. And then from there, we made the decision that we would drive to Montreal. This was the beginning of September last year, to actually see the work in person.
I think when we're talking about color forms and color work, it's really difficult to appreciate it on a two-dimensional,
in a digital space, right?
Space.
Yeah.
some work translates really well in our COVID times, and other work perhaps you do still need to see and experience. And I think this was one of the works that really resonated with us in person in a way that I don't think comes across through a flat medium.
I would say beyond that, I've always loved minimalist and color-filled paintings, but I've always struggled to ascribe meaning to this type of work. And certainly meaning isn't a requirement of art, but it does allow you to have a longer and deeper relationship with a work. And Shaan does exactly that.
The identities at play that come into form the double minaret are a reflection of his own dual identity. His mother was a British Protestant, his father was Muslim Pakistani, grew up in Canada. And so there's a lot of different forces at play that help to create Shaan and his perspective on the world. And I think for Anjli and myself, Anjli is Gujarati and Hindu, and I'm Sikh and Punjabi. And so
the way we come together, I think, is, you know, reflected in Shaan's experiences of, you know, him having parents from different cultural and religious identities. So that's something that really resonated with us.
The two minarets, as they come together, they're the same but different, and they combine to create something that's more beautiful than either alone. And I think that says a lot for the world around us. So let me show it to you. And essentially, the idea was simply that we wanted something where we've got, turn on the lights, maybe. What you end up having is, hold on. It's in a staircase where there's steps, and you're going up the staircase, and so you see this work, and then you get some light play because there's no direct light inside of the stairwell, but between the two rooms on each side, it plays with light.
It's a work about an flattened, abstracted spiral staircase that's hanging in a spiral staircase. So I take so much joy in that, you know, like you couldn't plan it better, I think. We acquired the work sometime in September after having been in touch with the gallery for a couple of months and seen the work on Zoom, drove to the gallery to see the work in person. I corresponded with Shaan sometime in October, and he was able to shed some more light on the work and provide additional context. He told me that the painting we acquired was one of the first minaret paintings that he actually kept, which I was really touched to learn. You know, it's incredible to know that something means so much to the artist that maybe they want to keep it for themselves, even if that's for a short time. And then, you know, at the end of 2020, to sort of end this arc, we learned that 2 paintings in this double minaret series were acquired by the National Gallery of Canada.